Hello there, and thank you for stopping by the channel. Today, we're talking about my GMR-15. If you've been watching my channel at all, you'll know I'm a competitive shooter, and my primary weapon is a JP5. I needed a backup gun, and quite frankly, I'm not a professional shooter, so I didn't have the coin or the sponsorship to pop for another JP5. I got my GMR-15. And I'm doing my best to tune this as my backup gun to shoot as much like my JP5 as I can. There's a big gap between the two. This is essentially an AR-9. It's a blowback design like most other AR-9s that are out there. This one's just high quality. It's built by JP. Enter Maxim Defense. Maxim Defense just created this roller delayed recoil buffer for an AR-9 platform. So today, we're going to stick this recoil buffer in my AR-9 here and see if maybe you should do the same thing. Let's get into it. Make ready. Are you ready? Stand by. Here are the two buffer springs we're talking about here. This is the standard buffer that comes on my JP GMR-15. As you can see, it's got 2 tungsten weights, 3 stainless, and a little bit heavier spring. I went to that heavier spring because it made it a little quicker recoil and a little less jarring. I liked the recoil feel a little better with the heavier spring. So this is how I run my GMR-15. This is the roller delayed buffer from Maxim Defense. Somebody mentioned this in the comments of one of my videos. I went and looked it up and I thought, man, I have got to have that. So I ordered this from Maxim Defense, and we're going to stick this buffer into my GMR-15. We're going to compare the two. We're going to look at some data, see how it goes, but I'll tell you kind of how I feel about the two here in a second as well. Let's see if I can show you a little bit how this works. So this is just a standard buffer, right? So on this one, the recoil just comes back. It's pretty straightforward, okay? That's all that's happening. And this weight is just slowing down and eating up some of that energy so that it's not quite as violent as if you had a light spring and light weight here, right? So this just slows that down, and this mass is what reduces that recoil that you feel in your shoulder. Okay, that's how that buffer works. I'm going to set this one down. This is a very unique design from Maxim Defense. I was looking at this and see how it worked, and I'm really impressed with how they did this. Okay, so this is actually in 2 parts. I don't know if I can do this without a table here, but you can see this is how it would recoil, right? But what's interesting is as that happens, I'm going to try and separate these things. There we go. You can see in here, there are some bearings, right? And see how those pop out? Okay. The way those pop out, they fit down inside of this. And as this goes back, there is just a catch and a delay that happens because on the shaft of the recoil buffer there, you can see where those bearings fit in there in that gap. So that causes that delay and has that recoil just softened. So we'll compare these two. We'll see how effective this thing really is. And we'll see if you should put one of these in your AR-9. Okay, so here we go. This is the GMR-15. This is the standard buffer that's in here currently. This has a little bit heavier spring on it. I've toyed with it a little bit to try and reduce that recoil so that it stays flatter and stays right on target so I can get those quick follow-up shots. I'm going to fire a couple doubles, and then I'm just going to empty the rest of the mag. I've got 20 rounds in here. We're going to run this, and then I'll swap out to the new delayed buffer spring, and we'll see how that goes. Here we go. Okay. The recoil on this, though, as you can tell, it's not much. It's pretty light. It's sharp. It's a quick recoil. It feels like something tapping you. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels like a really sharp, abrupt, violent recoil. Very light, but you definitely feel that jarring as that 9mm goes out of there. So let's switch it up and we'll see how that goes. I'm back with the the recoil spring has been changed to the roller delayed buffer. I'm really excited to see how this goes. Let's get right into it. Here we are. Okay, so first thing I'll notice, it's actually kind of tough to pull that back and break that initial when you're loading the gun. So there's a little bit of delays there too, I guess. All right, here we go. Wow. Okay, here we go. That is an incredible difference. It's not as tuned as my JP5, but that feels similar to what my JP5 felt like when it came from the factory with that 80-degree locking piece that they have in there. That's felt like a JP5 to me. I think I could hand a factory JP5 and this to somebody, and they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. That's incredible. Now, there's an advantage to my JP5, and that is that I can tune it even further. I kind of want to shoot it. I'll just show you. Okay, this is my JP5. My JP5, I've done a few different things too. I've played with the weights back here just a little bit. I got it back to the factory configuration here. I know I do. But I've changed the locking piece in here. There's a mechanism in here that's part of the bolt that changes the delay on the recoil and can increase or decrease that delay. And I've got that tuned to this ammo that I'm using. I'm shooting S&B 115. It's cheap ammo, and I can go through a lot of it in practice and even in local competitions, and I feel really good about that. So I've got this gun tuned to this ammo, and it shoots like a dream. Let me show you. Yeah, that's definitely superior, but only because I've tuned it. It's softer. I can be quicker on the trigger. I like a flat face trigger. That one's still curved. I'll probably make that change. But for a backup gun, that's been amazing. And if you're looking to just get a gun to get into competition shooting, and you want to spend half the money that you would on a JP5, go to JP, get the GMR-15, and get that delayed buffer spring. My gosh, what a difference. I'm really shocked. Okay, guys, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell button so you get notified when I post a new video. And please comment. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you think I can improve on. Tell me where you want some advice, or what perspectives you'd like to hear from a new competitive shooter. Is there a comparison that you'd like to see? Hit me up, let me know, and we'll see you out on the range.